This video is going to take us through your assignment for adding and subtracting decimals. So if you check out your notes, you'll notice that I really stress a comparison between adding and subtracting to all the soldiers, so the A and the S. It just helps me remember that you need to be lining up your decimal points every time you add and subtract, okay? I'm going to walk you through the actual assignment itself. Check out the video lesson if you want to learn more about that specifically. So here we go. I am taking my 2 decimal numbers, and so I have 2 decimals right here. And then I'm just going to plug in the rest of the values, the rest of the digits around it. I'm using my trackpad, so my handwriting is horrible. I'm really sorry, but it's the best way that I can actually record stuff. So anywho, so now I'm going to take 54, and I'm going to make sure that my columns line up the way that they're supposed to before I go over to my decimal side. And now I have this weird blank spot. So if you can remember any of those blanks, you can actually fill in with a place value holder of 0. Okay. And then a huge thing for this unit is just making sure, because I usually plop different operations in the same assignment, so make sure you're doing the correct one. Okay, so I'm double checking. It's definitely an addition problem, and now I'm ready to add, right? So you always start over with your right hand side, whatever place value that may be when we're talking about decimals, and that's where you go through and you're going to add, and you just carry over if you need to. So 1 plus 0, 1, right? 0 plus 5, 5, and then I'm tracking down my decimal point automatically. I could do that even before I started the math problem, okay? 9 plus 4, I have 13, so I'm going to carry over my 1. And then 5 plus 1 is 6, right? And just to reiterate how I should read this is the number 63. This is the number 51, okay? So instead of just saying 63.51, we need to start reading them correctly, because that's a part of our math skills. So whenever I see my decimal point, I say the word and, okay? I'm stressing that. And so I have 63 and 51, whatever place value it lands in, that's what you end with. So I'm going to say 63 and 51 hundredths. Okay, this is my ones column. Then I have tens and tenths. This would be hundreds, so this is hundredths. So just to kind of point out, again, I always want to practice how to read it out loud, because that is a part of it. Sometimes for simplicity, when we're in class, I'll say 63.51 or 51, just to get you guys to make sure that you're writing down the correct number. But when we're actually practicing stuff together, I do like to point out how to really say it. I mean, sadly, even when you watch the news and stuff, they still say like 6.9. They don't say 6 and 9/10. So, I mean, that's how you're hearing it on the news being reported. So I don't blame anybody for saying it like that. But here's a really good example. Just because we have 3 problems, I now have 3 decimals that I need to line up. And I'm going to bring down the decimal in my answer already before I forget. And I know that it is addition, so I'm going to plop it over here before I forget. Okay, and then the rest of it I can just fill in. Okay, so I have 6 and 9/10, 5 and 96 hundredths, 8 and 36 hundredths. Okay, and again, if you have a blank, you can just fill it in with a 0. Okay, now we're just ready to go through and add, right? So 6 plus 6, we've got 12, so I can carry that over, right? I always try to put things together that I know really well. So I do know that I have 9 plus 1, that gives me 10. Plus 9 more would give me 19. So now all I have to do is my plus 3, right? And then I am ready to move on to the next. So whenever I'm trying to look at these things, that's just where my brain goes. I don't know about anybody else's. I do try to just plop things together. So if I'm staring at this quickly, I would see that I have an 8, and then I know 6 plus 2 more will give me another 8. So I know 8 plus 8 is 16. And then I can go from there. So I know if I have 16 plus 5 more, I now have 21. Okay. So when we are typing that out over here, we're going to say it again. It's 21 and 22 hundredths is how you would say it. So 21 and 22 hundredths. Cool. Whee. I believe they're all like this. I just gave you an entire section filled with different addition and subtraction problems. Some of them just happen to be word problems, okay? So if you look on here, they're word problems, so it looks scary, but I swear it's not. So it's just to apply it to money, so you start getting used to seeing it as money. So Salma gave $9.03 to one friend and $9.83 to another friend. Find the total amount that she gave to them. So anytime you're saying that you want to try to find the total amount, you want to be adding them together. So again, just go through, line up your decimals, bring it down into your answer automatically. Make sure you know what you're supposed to be doing, adding or subtracting, and fill out your problem, okay? I'm not going to work out every single problem with you. I think you know how to do the addition. I just wanted to give you an example of what that would look like. So here we go. A bowl contained 36 and 5/10 grams of salt. Then David poured in another 36 and 42 grams. How much salt does the bowl contain now? So it had some, then we poured in some more. How much does it have altogether? So if you think about it, if you have a pile and then you make the pile even bigger, you've added to the pile. So that's your addition problem, correct? So just kind of working these math problems out for you. The price of an item's been reduced. Reduce means to take away, correct? So it's been reduced by $3.06. The original price was $99.54. What's the price now? So you have this original amount and then you want to reduce it by $3.06. You want to take away $3.06. So it works the exact same way as our addition problems, right? I know I have two numbers, whee, and I'm going to have my answer, whee, and I have a reduced amount, so I know I'm going to subtract. And then the rest you're just filling in. I have $99.54 on the other side. And I'm taking away $3.06 on the other side. And so you're just subtracting, right? So to work this one out for you, just as a reminder, right? If I have 4, I cannot take away $6, right? So I have to go next door and borrow $1 from there, right? I'm going to borrow 1. So if I go next door and I borrow from my 5, it becomes a 4, right? Anytime we're borrowing, we're just borrowing 1, okay? So that 1 comes and it gives me a 14 here, right? So I have 14 minus 6. Now I have enough. If I have 4 and I need to take away 0, I have enough to do that. If I go next door and I have 9 and I need to take away 3, I have enough to do that. And 9 minus, this is the same thing as a 0, right? So now I'm all set up, correct? I was able to borrow 1 from this column and it came over here. And at the beginning of the year, we kind of drew pictures out to kind of go through what that all means mathematically, right? Why are we taking 1 away, right? It's actually taking away a 10th. So to put a 10 extra onto the 4, it's actually 10 plus 4, but I don't want to go back and rehash all of that. Just so you know, we have gone over the reasoning for all of that borrowing and why it makes sense. But for now, we're just kind of practicing through the actual algorithm itself. If you need to, we can go back and practice that part too. Okay, so 14 minus 6. 4 minus 0, 9 minus 3, 9 minus 0. These are all doable now, correct? So that's your main goal, is to always go through and subtract out. And then let's check this last one out real quick. So far, Aldo has driven 9 4/10 of a mile. He needs to drive a total of 29 miles. How many more miles does he have? This is one that kind of makes kids wrap their brains around a little bit harder. So if this is his total distance, right? This is where he wants to go. This is where he started, right? He needs to drive a total of 29 miles, right? All together, it's 29 miles. Yep. All right. How far has he gone? So far, he has gone 9 4/10 of a mile, right? I'm just guessing, right? This is him in his little nice blue car, right? So this is 9 4/10. Yeah, this is what he's gone so far, this distance right here. We need to know what's left over, right? How much does he have left to drive? Okay, so if you have a total amount, it's kind of like money, right? If he had $29 and he had spent $9.40, how much did he have left? It's the same concept with driving. If you need to go 29 total and you've only gone 9 4/10 of a mile, how much longer do you have to go? This is a subtraction problem for you to figure out what's left over, okay? Not only is the trickier part just remembering that this is subtraction, but also when you have a whole number, anytime you have a whole number, boop, there is a decimal point sitting right there, okay? So again, if he has driven 29 miles and I need to subtract 9 4/10 from it, this is how I'm going to line it up, you guys, okay? Because any whole number has a decimal point sitting there next to it. You could say you're 12 years old, and put a decimal point if you wanted to, right? You could say you ate 3 slices of pizza and put a decimal point there. No one does it if there's nothing else there, but that's what you could do. So just keep that in mind.